What's up, everyone? Here we are with episode 3 of pipe making on a budget. So what we're going to do today is we are going to take 5 minutes lining up our block as simple as possible. There's a couple ways you can do it. Obviously, when you get to a higher degree of pipe making, this takes a bit longer. For the most part, all we're going to worry about is making sure that our line on the top is going to meet up nice with our shank. So, first things first. Can't do that. Can't smoke and talk. So, first things first is you're going to want to make sure your saw hole, whichever size you went with, whether it was the 2-inch or the 1 3/4. So I'm going to go with the 1 3/4. And what you're going to make sure is that it perfectly lines up, that there's not too big that it's hanging over here. Hear that? So this one's perfect size. I picked it because of that. So I think you're going to need your pen of choice, pencil, and a ruler, and your center punch. So what we're going to do is, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can do it the hard or fancy way. I don't do it this way, but this is the correct way. You can measure across the top, find the center. So take that measurement and find the center point of it. Put a little check. Then you turn it, you do the other way. So this is just under 2 inches, so it would be at 1 inch. Okay, here's how I do it. So I learned this from art class. What you do is you go corner to corner. Corner to corner, and then corner to corner. What we're gonna do is you're gonna put a line and a line. So this way, that, this way, like that. That spot in the middle is your center. So now you take your center punch. Done. I've already done this, so I'm just showing you how to do it again. So you can see it right there in the middle. Now what you're gonna do, this is key. If you do with Briar, the thing that'll make this easier is almost every time, not every time, but almost every time, one of 2 edges will be totally 90-degree flush. It'll be lined up already, right? See that? It's 90 degrees there. Again, I already did this. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna take your ruler and you're gonna put it right dead center of your center punch hole, and you're gonna mark it. So my ruler is kind of fancy. It's got a little spring on it, so it can like stop where I want it to, if you can see that. So that's my center point. Now what we're gonna do is you're gonna take that and you're gonna transfer it down, and then you're gonna put a little line there. You see that line? Right there. And you're just gonna keep following it and putting a check and a check and a check and a check, and that line will line you up to this center. And then, once you get to the edge, you're gonna put just a little check, just a little one on that edge. That way you know, when you look at it from here now, you know, oh, right there is center to there. And then what we're gonna do is you're gonna take this again, and you're gonna go in the middle of the block, and you're gonna put it right where it needs to go. So right in that center point again, and now I know that this spot is center with this. This totally lines up. Now here's the trick. Now you have to decide how long of a smoke you want. So depending on which spade bit you went with, whether it was, I recommended 3/4 or 7/8, those are 2 most common. So most of my bowls are about 1.5 inches deep, so 1.5 inches. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to eyeball trace and run this, so it lines up there. And again, I have plateau on this one. You see that? So it's gonna kind of mess up my line. You can see my line run right into it. So I can't trace or keep up with that. So for me, I have to do a little bit extra math. And then what you wanna do is you're gonna take that line, because again, you don't want this, it's a poker, so it should be fairly 90 degrees vertically. Like if you look at this poker, it's fairly 90 degrees, right? So I like a little bit of a counter. So similar to a billiard where it sits about 2 to 4 degrees forward. So they're always, like it always slightly hangs forward, just ever so slightly. You can see that. I like that. So I'm gonna add 4 degrees to my line. So that's where you gotta take out your measures. and you're gonna have to measure a degree or two. Again, you don't have to do this. You can do 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees. Doesn't do anything wrong. And then what you want to do is you want to line that up, and you're going to put a line on it. You're going to run it. Okay? And that now is there. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take that, again, you're going to put a little check there. So now when I look at this, again, I already did this. I've done this video 3 times, so I've already done it. So now you can't see it. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take this line, and you're going to find them in the middle, and that's your center. That's how you line up a block. That's how I line up a block. And realistically, with what we're doing, that's all you really need to do. When you get to the next 2 or 3 stages, a little bit more intense pipe making, you're going to have to face every corner of every block. It's the way it is. With this, because we're going to be doing it pretty simplistic in a vise on the drill press, we're going to be okay. Yeah, so you need, once we're done this, so once you have this done, you're pretty much ready to go. My next video is going to be setting up our drill press and showing you what to look for while you're doing it and how not to mess this up, because again, if you went the Briar route, then you don't want to mess up. I know me, like I still mess up my drills once in a while, and it's pretty aggravating. Because a block, again, a piece of Ebichon is anywhere from like 8 to 15 bucks American. So for me, that's like $20 to $30 Canadian. Just the way it goes. But yeah, that's basically it. That's how you line up a block. That's how I line up a block. That's how I want all of you to line up the block on this. That's all I got. All right, I guess I will see you all in episode 4 of Pipe Building on a Budget. Take care.